Hi. I'm aware that I'm bleeding in like two different spots on my face, but just be a homie and ignore it and pretend it's not there because I don't feel like waiting for it to stop and it's just annoying. So we'll just carry on with the video, I guess. Today I am doing the part 2 of the this or that tag where I answer the questions that you asked me in the comments of my last video. And so I have them all written down in this panda notebook. So let's get this shit started, because I got places to go and people to see, so yeah. I can see the mail lady, like, looking at me talking to myself. Hi. Anyways, so my first set of questions come from my good friend Britt here on YouTube, also known as AG Acting Girl, and her first question is dogs or cats? Now, even though I love both animals and I have grown up having both animals in my household, I would have to choose dogs. I just think that I bond personally better with dogs, and I feel like the relationship between a person and a dog is just such a special thing that you can't really compare to anything else, and just the unconditional love that a dog has for its owner is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I'm definitely gonna have to go with dogs. I do love cats too, so cat people don't, like, charge at me. I just think I prefer dogs. Her next question is shonen or shoujo? Now, if you would have asked me this when I was 12, I definitely would have said shonen because I was totally into all that action, pa shit. But lately, I've definitely been leaning towards shoujo because as I'm looking at my manga, the bookshelf, which is right below you guys, pretty much like 85% of it, I would have to say, is shoujo. So yeah, lately I've definitely been leaning towards the shoujo genre. Her third question is seinen or josei. Now, I'm definitely going to have to say seinen for this one, mainly because I've never really read a josei series or watched a josei series at all. I've never really had the opportunity. I feel like josei is a genre that a lot of people here in the anime community on YouTube don't really talk about. I don't really hear many people talking about josei series. If you have recommendations of good joseis, definitely recommend some to me because I would love to get into some, but I'll definitely have to go with seinen because, you know, I've watched way more seinen than josei, and I really do love the seinen genre. The seinen genre is just, it's a lot more mature and a lot more dark and gritty usually, which I really, really enjoy. So yeah, definitely seinen there, Britt. And her last question is, are you a morning person or a night owl? I used to be a morning person, like back when I was in high school. I would wake up super duper early on purpose. Like, I'd wake up at 5 in the morning for fun, which I don't understand now, because nowadays I'm definitely a night owl. I will stay up until like 4 o'clock in the morning, and if you try to get me out of bed before 10 o'clock, I'm not a happy person. So the next set of questions come from my friend Dylan here on YouTube, also known as Dynamic Dylan, and his first question is 1OK Rock or This Wildlife? And for those of you who don't know, those are two of my favorite bands of all time. Dylan, I'm actually really surprised that you remembered that I love the band This Wildlife, because a lot of people don't even know who they are. So props to you for remembering that. I feel so special that you remembered that about me. But I'm definitely going to have to choose 1OK Rock because 1OK Rock is my favorite band of all time. They're just so freaking amazing. Their live performances are just as good, if not better, than their stuff they do in the studio, and Taka's voice is just amazing, and Ryota and Toru are just so talented, and I would love to see them live someday. His second question is Mayday Parade or All Time Low? And definitely, hands down, with no question, it's Mayday Parade. Mayday Parade is probably my second favorite band of all time. They definitely are a band that got me through a really, really hard time when I was in high school, and they got me through a lot. So I have a very special, special place for Mayday Parade in my heart. If you have not listened to them, their music is freaking fantastic, and you're missing out. So go. I blessed you with this information. Go. Go. Stop this video right now. Just stop watching and go listen to Mayday Parade. You will thank me. I promise you. His next question is Fall Out Boy or 3 Days Grace? Definitely Fall Out Boy, especially if we're talking about Fall Out Boy's older stuff. I do like 3 Days Grace, but I'm not as into them as Fall Out Boy, so yeah, Fall Out Boy. Dylan, this next question that you have for me, like, I love your face. I love your face, Dylan. But I hate you so much for asking this question because it's so hard. His question is Orange or Horimiya? For those of you who don't know, Orange and Horimiya are my two favorite manga series of all time at this moment. And, making me decide between those two is so evil. So evil. Ooh. That's so hard because they're both so good, and I love the characters so much in each of those series. I think I'm gonna have to go with Orange though, simply because the message and the themes and the things you learn from Orange are much more important than what you learn in Horimiya. As much as I love the characters and the story of Horimiya, definitely Orange hits home a lot harder for me and is a lot more emotional and has a lot more meaning and substance behind it than Horimiya. So definitely Orange. If you have not read Orange, please do so. This is one of those manga series that will change your life, and it will probably leave you bawling on the floor for like 2 hours after you read it because yeah, that's what happened to me. So definitely Orange, but I love Horimiya. Dylan, why did you make me decide between those two? His final question is Another or Higurashi? This is another really hard one because I love Higurashi no Nakokoro ni, but I also really, really love Another. I think, though, I'm gonna have to go with Another, simply because Another made a lot more sense to me. Higurashi, there was a lot of points in it where I was just like, what is going on? I don't understand anything anymore. Whereas Another was a lot easier for me to follow personally and put pieces of the puzzle together with my own mind. And I just really, really love the characters. I love the characters in both series, but I think Another, I'll have to choose Another just because I think the plot line stood out a little bit more for me in that one. All right, so the next set of questions come from Desiree Larson, and her question is Sleeping with Sirens or Pierce the Veil? Lots of band questions. You guys know my music taste so well. Definitely Sleeping with Sirens. I do like Pierce the Veil, but I like Sleeping with Sirens a lot more. Kellen Quinn, I love his voice. I love his voice so much. Next set of questions come from Jazz Bay, and her first question is unicorns or vampires? Um, I think vampires, if you're going with the traditional, like, old sense of vampire, not the stupid new age vampire crap that's been coming out. If you're talking about, like, back in the day, like Dracula type vampires, then definitely vampires. Her second question is money or honey? Definitely money. I mean, I love honey, and it tastes amazing in tea, but honey can't pay my bills, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna have to go with money instead of honey, so yeah. Next question is donuts or ketchup, which this shouldn't even be a question. Definitely donuts, because ketchup is the most foul, disgusting substance known to mankind. It's so gross. I hate ketchup. It needs to die. I'm sorry, those of you who enjoy ketchup, but it's the worst tasting thing in the world, and everyone smothers everything in it, and it ruins my life. Her last question is, would you rather realize that your significant other is an alien or a cute panda that has transformation powers? Definitely a cute panda that has transformation powers because, like, a cute cuddly panda, come on, versus an alien. I'd be afraid if I figured out that my significant other was an alien. I'd be like, oh my god. But then again, if he was, I could sing that whole Katy Perry song E.T. and it would be so relevant to my life. But anyways, yeah, I'd much rather have my significant other be a cute panda. Our next set of questions come from Kimiko K, and she has one question for me, and she says, no fabulous hair or no manga? That's an easy question. Definitely no fabulous hair because, I mean, wait, does this mean me being bald or just having like really crappy looking hair? Because if I just had crappy looking hair, that'd be fine because I have crappy looking hair already. So definitely I would choose manga over fabulous hair any day because a life without manga would just be so sad. So definitely manga. All right, our last set of questions come from Divine Dancer, and her first question is show jumping or dressage? And apparently these are horse sports, which I don't really know much about horse events at all, so I'm just gonna say show jumping because it sounds kind of cool. So show jumping, even though I don't know. I'm sorry. Her second question is fiction or nonfiction? Definitely fiction for me, just because I feel like there's so much more that you can do with fiction that you can't do with nonfiction, and there's just so many routes you can take and like ideas you can explore with it. And her last question is amazing hair or an amazing body? Definitely, if I had to choose between having amazing hair and an amazing body, I've never had an amazing body. I get complimented on my hair all the time, so I guess my hair's okay, maybe, even though I think it's a freaking mess, but apparently you guys seem to like it. But I've never had, like, a really nice body, so Probably a really nice body. I'll choose the body over my hair, I guess. So, yeah. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys, and I will see you next time. Which I'll probably have, I have a couple hauls coming up, and probably a first impression video coming up as well. So, stay tuned for that, guys, and I'll see you guys later. So,